Without reference to file, AB 2534 by Mr. Nazarian. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 2534 by Assemblymember Nazarian, enacting to the Santa Monica Mountains Conservancy.
Mr. Nazarian.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Los Angeles River has undergone significant changes over the last 2 decades. Major improvements have been made in segments along the river with the development of bike trails, outdoor amphitheaters, and parks. However, one component continues to be missing: the inclusion of the business community. Los Angeles River Regional Access and Economic Sustainability Working Group will develop practical recommendations for establishing permanent connectivity between the area's businesses, bicycle networks, and the river. Recent amendments in the Appropriations Committee expanded the boundaries of the working group to ensure that all of the river will be included. With the Appropriations Committee amendments finally in print today, and given the legislative deadlines, I remain committed to broadening this bill to be as inclusive as possible once the bill moves to the Senate. With that, I ask for an aye vote.
Thank you, Mr. Nazarian. Seeing no discussion or debate on the item, clerk will open the roll. All members vote or desire to vote. All members vote or desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll. Tally the vote. Ayes 51, noes 14. Measure passes. Members, we are moving to Assembly third reading. Pass and retain, file item 21. Pass temporarily, file item 22. Pass and retain, file items 23 and 24. We are going to move to file item 25. That's AB 1909 by Ms. Lopez. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 1909 by Assemblymember Lopez, enacting to crimes.
Ms. Lopez, you may open.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. Today I present AB 1909, which will increase the penalty for bad acting prosecutors and felony that withhold evidence. Withholding evidence from a court case impact someone's life forever and should be not handled lightly. AB 1909 increase great accountability for the prosecutors, and all the opposition has been removed. Thank you, members, and ask for your vote.
Thank you, Ms. Lopez. Seeing no discussion or debate on the item, clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. The clerk will close the roll, tally the vote. Ayes 51, noes 15. The measure passes. Pass and retain on file item 26. We're going to pass temporarily on file item 27, pass and retain on 28 and 29. That takes us to file item 30. Mr. Bloom is in conference. We will pass temporarily. File item 31, AB 2880. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 2880 by the Committee on Judiciary, enacting to state intellectual property.
Mr. Stone, you may open.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. In 2012, this legislature passed a bill that was authored by then Speaker Perez that asked the state to catalog its intellectual property, and in doing so probably created or granted to the state the authority to actually create copyrights. And if that's the case, then what we need is to make sure that if the state is doing that, it does have a reason to grant those copyright or to claim copyright protection over works created by the state under very, very limited circumstances. And I think we should be the body to direct those circumstances. What this bill does is it protects any trademarks and patents and asks the state for those intellectual property items that it has to catalog and manage those in the best interest of the public. And with respect to copyright, it clarifies that the state does have the ability to generate copyrightable works, but this creates a strong preference that any works created at public expense actually go into the public domain. This bill clarifies there have been some problems at the local level where local jurisdictions were using copyright as a reason to not disclose public documents under the Public Records Act request. We have provisions in this bill that would not allow that to go forward and make sure that there's never going to be an excuse of copyright claim to prevent documents from being disclosed to the public. This is a bill that cleans up parts of the way that copyrights actually work here in California and ensures that most of copyrighted works will in fact go into the public domain. And with that, I respectfully ask for your aye votes.
Thank you, Mr. Stone. Mr. Allen, you're recognized.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I rise in opposition. The purpose of copyright law is to incentivize creativity by granting monopoly over work for a limited time. However, such incentives are unnecessary when the resources are being provided from us, by us, the taxpayers. As a result, Congress has expressly excluded all work done by the federal government employees from the scope of copyright so that taxpayers can immediately benefit from new contributions to the public domain. AB 2880 would chart a different course by granting state government the power to assert copyrights over taxpayer-funded work. This presents a serious issue, and it would grant state government the power to suppress the dissemination of government-funded works for nearly a century, potentially after creation, despite the current Public Records Act exemptions in the bill. I urge no vote.
All debate having ceased, Mr. Stone, you may close if you wish.
Thank you, and I'd like to clarify that. There are many agencies that already have the right to create copyrightable works. That is unbeknownst to us, and there's a task force in the administration that is moving forward on rules around how the state does in fact protect copyrights. It's true a federal government employee cannot create a copyrightable work, but it's also very true that the state agencies can. And if we don't act, state agencies are acting on their own. This is a balance between those limited purposes that a state may want to claim copyright and protect it in the public interest, and in all other circumstances, including records like what we create here in the legislature, will not be subject to copyright. Those will in fact be public domain. This bill ensures that that happens. That's why this is a good and necessary bill, and I ask for your aye vote.
With that, clerk will open the roll. All members vote or desire to vote. All members vote or desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the vote. Ayes 58, noes 1. Measure passes. Members, I see the former minority leader of the Assembly has joined us on the floor today, the Honorable Connie Conway. Let's welcome her back to the Assembly. Members, we are going to move back in the file to take up items that are now eligible after our rule waiver. Members, we're moving back to file item 26. That's AB 2724 by Mr. Gatto. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 2724 by Assemblymember Gatto, enacting to unmanned aircraft.
Mr. Gatto, you may open.
So drones are an exciting new technology. They have a lot of really cool uses for realtors, for farmers, and for hobbyists, people who just use them as a hobby. But like any new technology, we need to put in place some rules, and we need to be thoughtful about it, and we need to exercise some foresight. Assembly Bill 2724 is our opportunity to exercise some foresight. Just like we put in place meaningful laws having to do with insurance requirements for vehicles that stay on the land, car insurance requirements, this bill would put in place an insurance requirement for drones beginning in 2020. We worked very hard with the American Insurance Association. We've removed all opposition to this bill. We've delayed the implementation until 2020. But this bill would also do a couple other things that are very important. Number one, it would require drones that have the existing capability to shut down when they get near an airport. That's very, very important. As we all know, those of us who fly every week know what amount of havoc a drone could wreak if it gets near an airplane. And thirdly, this bill would require that drone packaging contains the requirements just disclosed in the packaging that the drone owner has to register the drone with the Federal Aviation Administration. It would just be a statement of federal law in the packaging. We've removed all opposition with this bill. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Seeing no discussion or debate on the item, clerk will open the roll. All members vote or desire to vote. All members vote or desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote or desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote or desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Mr. Gatto moves the call. Members moving to file item 28, AB 1934. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 1934 by Assemblymember Santiago, an act relating to housing.
Mr. Santiago, you may open.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. AB 1934 would create a new program modeled after California's residential density bonus program to incentivize commercial development to actively partner with affordable housing developers on combined mixed-use project. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Seeing no discussion or debate on the item, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote or desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote or desire to vote. The clerk will close the roll, tally the vote. Ayes 49, noes 4. Measure passes. File item 29, AB 2208. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 2208 by Assemblymember Santiago and others, an act relating to housing.
Mr. Santiago, you may again open.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, AB 2208 requires that when local governments update their housing element, they specifically consider the existence of airspace and potential placement for future affordable housing developments. AB 2208 has bipartisan support, and I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Mr. Santiago. See no discussion or debate on the item. Clerk will open the roll. All members vote or desire to vote. All members vote or desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the vote. Ayes 63, no 0. The measure passes. Passing temporarily on file item 30. File item 31 is AB 2880. Clerk will read. My apologies, we've dispensed with that item. We're passing temporarily on item 32. Pass and retain on file item 33. Moving to file item 34, AB 1940 by Mr. Cooper. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 1940 by Assemblymember Cooper, an act relating to peace officers.
Mr. Cooper, you may open.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. AB 1940 will require law enforcement agencies that deploy body-worn cameras to develop, through the collective bargaining processes, policies and procedures on their use, including recommendation of best practices. AB 1940 will ensure accuracy by allowing peace officers to view the footage for memory recall. AB 1940 will also promote transparency in the case of serious bodily injury by requiring the officer to view the footage after it has been validated and in the presence of an independent investigator. AB 1940 will require that all peace officers and the public be provided with body-worn camera policies specific to their jurisdiction. Finally, AB 1940 respects and protects existing collective bargaining body-worn camera policies. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Ms. Cooper. Seeing no discussion or debate on the item, clerk will open the roll. All members vote or desire to vote. All members vote or desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tie the vote. Ayes 56, noes 3. The measure passes. File item 35 is to the inactive file. File item 36, AB 2756 by Mr. Thurmond, now eligible. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 2756 by Assemblymember Thurmond and others, enacting relating to oil and gas.
Mr. Thurmond, you may open.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Colleagues, I rise to present AB 2756. This is a public safety bill. It addresses regulations for the division of oil, gas, and geothermal resources when there are issues around gas and oil. Essentially, it increases fees and penalties that must be paid when there are incidents, but it also creates the opportunity for those fees to go to help those communities that have been negatively impacted by incidents involving oil and gas. We work very closely with the opposition, and they've removed their opposition. I respectfully ask for your aye vote on this bill in support of our public safety.
Mr. Allen, you are recognized.
Thank you very much. I rise in opposition to this bill. This bill raises fees in the state to absolutely egregious levels. To give the members an idea, this bill increases penalties that Dogger can impose for a single violation from $25,000 per violation to $25,000 per day per violation. That alone is reason enough to vote no on the bill. There's many other problems, but I urge no vote.
Seeing no additional discussion or debate, Mr. Thurmond, you may close.
Thank you, colleagues. Again, I just want to indicate that we've had robust conversation about the fees, and in many cases actually reduced the fees in accordance with requests from those in the industry and the sector. We have accomplished a dual goal of protecting the health and safety of the public and finding a way to work very closely with an important industry. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
With that, clerk will open the roll. All members vote or desire to vote. All members vote or desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll. Tally the vote. Ayes 52, noes 11. Measure passes. File items 37 through 39 pass and retain. We are moving to file item number 40, AB 1783 by Mr. Dodd. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 1783 by Assemblymember Dodd and others, enacting relating to school facilities.
Mr. Dodd, you may open.
Mr. Speaker and members, AB 1783 will make our children's school classrooms safer in the event of an earthquake. In the early morning of September 2014, the South Napa earthquake struck and caused widespread damage to classrooms in the Napa Unified School District. Post-earthquake inspections showed bookshelves, file cabinets, television, light fixtures, and more had toppled onto school desks and blocked schoolroom entry and exits. While we have statutory earthquake standards that keep our school roofs and walls from collapsing, there are no requirements to keep items inside schoolrooms from falling on students, teachers, and other school personnel. 16 years ago, the legislature directed the state architect to develop guidelines to help schools make the contents of schoolrooms earthquake safe. Few schools have paid attention and followed those guidelines. In Napa and also in Northridge and other areas of the state where they've had earthquakes, we're very, very lucky that these earthquakes did not happen during school hours. Most certainly major injuries and deaths would have occurred. Damage in the Napa schools was not unique. This has occurred, as I said, in other school districts when earthquakes struck elsewhere. The goal of AB 1783 is to get school districts in areas of high seismic risk to pay attention to the earthquake safety guidelines that already exist and to fix the most serious items that are imminent threat to the safety of students and teachers. There's absolutely no opposition to this bill and is supported by teachers, parents, and structural engineers. I request your aye vote.
Thank you, Mr. Dodd. Seeing no discussion or debate on the item, clerk will open the roll. All members vote or desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll. Tally the vote. Ayes 64, no 0. Measure passes. Members, we're going to move back to file item 39, AB 2280. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 2280 by Assemblymember Ridley Thomas, enacting into housing.
Mr. Ridley Thomas.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to present AB 2280, which would require the California Housing Finance Agency provide participating parties with a notice of if the agency makes a change to an eligibility requirement for a housing or lending program. Specifically, the bill would require the notice to be made within 5 business days of making a change if the notice does not impose an undue burden on the agency. With that, I would respectfully request an aye vote, Mr. Speaker.
Seeing no discussion or debate on the item, clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll. Tally the vote. Ayes 58, noes 2. Measure passes. Item 41 is on call, passing temporarily on file items 42 and 43. Moving to take up file item 44, AB 2150, Mr. Santiago. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 2150 by Assemblymember Santiago and others, enacting to Child Care and Development Services.
Mr. Santiago, you may open.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, AB 2150 would protect working families from losing eligibility for child care for 12 months by eliminating required reporting during a time and allows moderate wage increases to prevent sudden withdrawal of support that can undermine a family's pathway to financial stability. I respectfully ask for aye vote.
See no discussion or debate on this item. Clerk will open the roll. All members vote or desire to vote. All members vote or desire to vote. All members vote or desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll. Tally the vote. Ayes 61, no 0. Measure passes. We are passing temporarily on file item 45. File item 46 is AB 2249. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 2249 by Assemblymember Cooley and others, enacting to state parks.
Mr. Cooley, you may open.
Colleagues, I am honored to bring this bipartisan bill to the floor. AB 2249 is the product of great collaboration in this House and our Parks Committee, our Judiciary Committee, and in Appropriations. It will adopt the California Heritage Protection Act as a response to the renaming arising from a dispute of the historic locales in Yosemite National Park, the Ahwahnee Hotel, Curry Village, Wawona Hotel, Badger Ski Pass. This bill makes clear that a California concessionaire in our state parks cannot use the mere fact of a concessions contract to assert trademark right. If they do so, it disqualifies them from meeting the basic fitness standard of being a concessionaire. And we believe this bill will actually set a framework that can help speed a resolution of bringing back the historic names of these locales in Yosemite. I request an aye vote.
Thank you, Mr. Cooley. Seeing no discussion or debate on this item, clerk will open the roll. All members vote or desire to vote. All members vote or desire to vote. All members vote or desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll. Tally the vote. Ayes 66, no 0. Measure passes. We are going to pass temporarily on file item 47. File item 48, AB 2311. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 2311 by Assemblymember Brown, enacting to emergency services.
Ms. Brown, you may open.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. AB 2311 will require local governments to integrate the access and functional needs population into its emergency plan by addressing how it will be served during emergencies. The bill requires a plan to include how the access and functional needs population, that is not limited to seniors and individuals with physical disabilities, and how they will be communicated with during the evacuation or sheltered in emergencies. This is an important bill that will help to ensure the needs of this vulnerable population are considered during the local emergency planning process. One of the issues that happened was when the lake fire happened, when the terrorists hit in San Bernardino, there were great populations that didn't know what was going on because they didn't have access. So this bill should clear up all of that. It's a bipartisan bill, and I respectfully ask for your support.
Thank you, Ms. Brown. Seeing no discussion or debate on the item, clerk will open the roll. All members vote or desire to vote. All members vote or desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll. Tally the vote. Ayes 63, no 0. The measure passes. File item 49 is AB 2324. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 2324 by Assemblymember Eggman, and actually with certified farmers markets.
Dr. Eggman, you may open.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. AB 2324 is a bill that helps streamline paperwork for farmers markets. Currently, vendors at farmers markets have to do an extraordinary amount of paperwork, and the compliance officers don't quite know what to check for. So this bill streamlines it so it makes it very clear what the recording requirements are and how the compliance officers need to check that out. So I ask for your aye vote to keep that fresh fruit and vegetables on farmers markets and on our tables. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Eggman. Seeing no discussion or debate on this item, clerk will open the roll. All members vote or desire to vote. All members vote or desire to vote. All members vote or desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll. Tally the vote. Ayes 62, no 0. The measure passes. Passing temporarily on file item 50. File item 51. Pardon me. Passing temporarily on file item 51. File item 52 is AB 2476 by Mr. Daly. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 2476 by Assemblymember Daly and others, and act relating to local governments.
Mr. Daly, you may open.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This bill will establish a fair process for notifying property owners when a parcel tax is to appear on a local ballot. Property owners are required to pay parcel taxes approved by voters on a local ballot in a city, county, or a special district. Non-resident property owners, those who own parcels within the community but reside elsewhere, receive no notice of a pending parcel tax vote. Yet they will pay the new tax if it's approved by the voters. This bill brings a measure of fairness by establishing a process for notifying the non-resident property owner. Specifically, local governments would have 30 days after acting to place a proposed parcel tax on the ballot to notify those non-resident property owners of their decision. Notification will be in the form of a postcard. This bill has been substantially amended from last year to make it easier on the local governments to perform this task. I respectfully request an aye vote.
Mr. Allen, you are recognized.
Thank you very much. I'd like to rise in strong support of AB 2476 and compliment the author on this common sense measure. Currently, despite the fact that non-resident property owners pay parcel taxes, which are approved at the local level, they typically do not receive notice of a pending vote, nor are they entitled to vote on whether any proposed parcel tax should be adopted. It's the voters of the local jurisdiction who determine whether a proposed parcel tax should be imposed on property owners, and this notification will make sure that they get to do that. I urge an aye vote.
Seeing no additional discussion or debate on the item, clerk will open the roll. All members vote or desire to vote. All members vote or desire to vote. All members vote or desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll. Tally the vote. Ayes 50, noes 2. The measure passes. We are going to pass temporarily on file item 53.